Well, welcome. We're back live, and I have a great guest. This episode is going to be a little bit different. What I wanted to do was I wanted to highlight one of the groups that I'm a part of that I think is really big here in Central Florida, and I wanted to talk to you about it a little bit more and get you focused on what's the reason why I joined the group. And I figured the best person to speak about that would be someone who's an expert within the organization. So I'm about to pull up on the screen here my guest, and his name is Larry Di Gioia. He's the managing partner of the Gioia Group, which is a technology management consulting firm in Florida. Larry has over 25 years of technology and leadership experience, so he knows what he's talking about when we talk about the local community here. Larry has been a member of SIM Central Florida. That's what the topic of this is going to be about, since 2010. So he's been there for quite a while, and he knows a lot about the folks here in the community. He's joined SIM Central Florida, the board of SIM Central Florida, back in 2011, and he's had many positions and led several initiatives. He was elected as chapter president in 2018 and is in year 2 of his 3-year term. So who else better to talk about SIM Central Florida than the president of SIM Central Florida? So let me introduce you right now to Larry. Hey, Larry, how you doing, sir?
Good afternoon, Jonathan. Nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you as well. And, the reason why I wanted to get you on here and why I think this is so important is, obviously in order to gain insight, sometimes we need to lean on our peers, especially and collaborate and talk about how do we explore best practices, especially now during this time. So, obviously you have extensive knowledge being in SIM and being in the local community, and being a managing partner in your group and being the SIM president. I just wanted to kind of get your take. Can you highlight some of the benefits and accomplishments that we've done as a group since you've been in, and especially maybe we can highlight even presently right now with everything going on?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you. First and foremost, it's about networking, especially in these difficult times with folks losing their jobs and having to reposition themselves. It's important to have a strong network. So one of the biggest strengths I have as a member of this site for information management in Central Florida is having a strong network of peers in the area to help you out. We provide a variety of content in terms of educational, career development, things like that. We have monthly meetings, which were unfortunately held up at COVID, but we were always to meet monthly at the Citrus Club in Orlando. We would also take site trips to go off site to visit other facilities to get some information. We run charity events. We run networking outdoor events. We had a golf tournament last year. It was our first one. It was highly successful. And then we also get readouts from the experts in the area talking about economic development, what's the economic future of Central Florida to prepare ourselves in terms of business. We also run several key programs we've just started up recently. One of my favorites is the SIM Women Group, which is now started up and running by Susan Howells and Tammy Zeladon. That was a big push for me to get that through, and I'm happy with it. It's a great networking group for folks, for ladies to get together and talk about issues that are relevant to their careers and to help coach other ladies along the line to move the ladder in leadership. We've got the MIT program this year, which unfortunately was a little more necessary than usual, which is a member in transition program. We put a lot of effort bringing in some folks to help the members with their resumes, coaching them on networking. We had some very special guests this past spring. We had Todd Cohen, a friend of mine, come in as a guest speaker, talk about selling yourself. We had Phil Gerbyshak coming and talk about improving your LinkedIn profile, your presence online. And Dr. Karen Jacobson talking about learning more about yourself and conducting DISC assessments and things like that. So very happy to be able to provide those services for folks. Given the time we're in today, we made it available to everyone in the area to kind of get back to the community. It'll be an ongoing thing moving forward. We've got Glenn Kraft who will be heading that committee up moving forward. We also had CIO roundtables we started a little over a year ago. So it's a invite-only event, limited to about 20 folks, and you must be a senior level IT folk to partake in that. And it's a vendor-free neutral zone, so it's a safe place to come and communicate. That's headed up by Lou Grande from Red Lobster. And then we also now starting up the CISO roundtables, again, another invite-only event headed up by Lee Bailey. We're very big on making sure we limit. We've heard some complaints in the past that people think, oh, SIM is all about vendors. It's a lot of vendors. It really isn't. we cap it to around 10% of our membership is our vendor sponsors. So we're very particular who we invite in our group to make sure that they can provide services that are relevant to our membership, and they're not just there to sell and sell and sell. We police it very strongly. We've also giving back is a big thing for us. We're big in the community to make sure we give back to the folks that we support, who support us. And we've also led a big partnership with the SIM Miami chapter and the SIM Tampa chapter to share resources so we can communicate with all the IT folks within the state of Florida. And lastly, when we get together with, especially our holiday party or our golf tournaments, we'll partner with the folks from the American Records Management Association, ARMA, ILTA, and ISACA, and ISU Squared, again, to help build out the community.
Awesome. And you touched on a lot of things there, so I kind of want to break it down and kind of take it piece by piece. You mentioned a lot of the benefits that the members get. I want to kind of start there. Talk to me about how, the new Infotech benefit. How does that benefit the new Infotech offering, I should say? How does that benefit some of the members? How are we leveraging that? What is that, and how does that work?
Sure. It's a brand new initiative we just started. Probably back in the spring, just before COVID, I attended the Infotech conference in Orlando and built a relationship with a lot of the folks in Infotech. And we said, look, we're a perfect match for one another. The content that you provide, the services you provide are ideal for our population. It's senior level management looking to make improvements in their organizations. And they provide very crystal clear step-by-step procedures to help you get to a higher level of maturity within your organization, and lots of research. So we were able to partner with Andrew, who's our rep for Central Florida, and met with leadership there. And so now, starting this month, if you're a SIM member, you can go to our website, simcfl.org, and you'll have access to some research and some other resources. I can't get into details of that because it's all special for SIM members. So if you go to the website and log in, you can see exactly the details that are available to SIM members.
Awesome. And I appreciate you sharing that. I'm going to post up the website in the comments section when this is done. So it definitely helps some people out with that. I appreciate that. And now, speaking from a local perspective, can you kind of talk about, you mentioned about how we've donated and given back to the community. Can you elaborate on that? How have we done that as a group?
Well, we're very proud to say over the years we've donated $250,000 back into the Orlando area. And in the years past, it was primarily geared towards college scholarships for folks who need in Seminole State or Valencia or even UCF. But over time, we began to realize, okay, we're looking to get folks involved with STEM, and especially females. And we said, well, where are we losing them? Because there was a big gap. And after talking to the professors at the universities, they're saying, well, we're losing them in high school. It's like, okay, so how do we fix that? So we decided to go down to the elementary school level and the middle school level and start contributing to programs there to help engage the students to get them involved so you don't lose them in high school. So we're very proud of the fact that we've been donating large amounts of money over several years back into the community to keep making sure that folks will get educated in STEM programs and they'll stay here because we believe Orlando has a lot to offer. Last year alone, I think we donated roughly about $30,000 back to the community from middle schools and some, I think, with elementary school. Starting this year, we've also now have access, thankfully, with the help of SIM National, we have access to the SIM Foundation, which is a true 501c3 charity organization. So now we're able to collect charitable donations, tax-deductible donations on our website and at special events. So that will be a good help for us to help with collect other revenues. It's a different bucket of money in corporations. It's not advertising budget, it's a philanthropy budget. So we believe that'll help us bring additional revenue into the community.
Awesome. And you see, I got the website right there now on the banner there. And we're super excited about that. So let me ask you this, Larry. So, I think that one of the biggest things here we have is when we talk about SIM, what is SIM? Society of Information Management, right? It's where IT leaders can get together, share best practices and ideas. So, you've been in for a while. We talked about in the intro when we brought you in your bio. You've been there for quite a while. I'm curious to know, just from your perspective, how have you benefited from being a member of the group?
Networking is the biggest thing. One of the lessons we learned from all of our MIT presenters we had in the spring was networking is everything. If you're waiting until you lose your job to start networking, it's too late. So first and foremost, it's for me, it was a networking with the folks in the area to learn what's the hot trends in Orlando and metro area, who's hiring, who's not hiring, and making those connections. The odds of you getting a job through a recruiter, if you're lucky, are about 20%. If you're doing it online applications, it's feeling less. So your network is going to help you get your next opportunity. So the biggest portion of it is creating a network where you help you out when you need help and to help others when they need help. And then obviously learning about what's the emerging technologies in the area, and then career development.
Career development. So can you speak? I mean, that's perfect segue into the next question. Can you speak about how being a member has enhanced and developed your career specifically?
Sure. I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship to go to the RLF program, which is Sims Regional Leadership Forum, which was a great 6-month intensive program that helped me build my leadership skills. And there's a nice discount also if you're just a SIM member to attend the program. We're fortunate enough that 2 of the facilitators are members of our chapter, which is Molly Mahoney and Michael Garlick. There's also, we try to put an emphasis on the programming in terms of, it's not just, we try to avoid just pure technical topics at the meetings. We're trying to find topics that are more forward thinking, what's next, and it's also about how do I self-discover. So there will be topics along, it helped me identify who I am, what my strengths and weaknesses are, and then how do I fix those weaknesses, turn it back into strengths. So how do I better myself, and how do I be a better leader in my community and in my organization?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I appreciate you saying that and sharing that, because, I don't know if you noticed, but I have this podcast series that I do called Leading During Crisis, where I interview a lot of the IT practitioners that are local here in our community. And some are actually not in our community, but they're IT practitioners as well in different states. And I'm just curious, the common thread that we hear is there's so much digital change going on, obviously with COVID and everything that's going on in our world. And with all the changes going on specifically in IT and the digital changes, when we talk about joining a group like Society of Information Management, SIM, what is some of the advice that you would give to someone who's thinking about joining the group?
Come check us out. It's right now, all of our programming is open to everybody to come in and experience and give us a try. We have lots of other, we're starting to open up with some more open face-to-face networking events coming up later on in the fall. We've got our holiday party coming up in early December. We'll be at Topgolf this year, so we're excited about that. So I'd say really just give us a try. There's some women events coming up. Go to the website, it's simsafl.org under upcoming events, and take a look and see what we've got. This week we've got Rob Brown from Cognizant talking about the future of work and jobs of the future. Again, it's open. There's still some space available, so I say come check it out. I've known Rob for several years now, and I've seen his presentation several times. Great topic, great conversations. Coming up after that, we've got Bruce Rogo from the Odyssey Group coming up, talking about it's time to get real about digital transformation. Again, great. Bruce has got tremendous experience over the years. He's worked at Gartner, worked at IBM, and he brings a lot to the table to share with the folks in the area. So I would definitely highly recommend come check us out and see the content. And there's even though we are virtual, with this still people are communicating online and learning how to network online.
Yeah, I would tell you that's one of the benefits that I saw even before I joined the group, and now that I'm part of the group, seeing how tight knit everyone is. There's really a big push, or really I should say a pull, to try to make sure that everyone is sharing best practices, understanding what the other guys are going through, and just kind of saying, hey, I'm going through this. What are you going through? How did you overcome these challenges? Maybe I can implement some great ideas. Not only from the IT perspective, but also from a business perspective as well. How do we, now that these IT practitioners have such a big prominent seat at the table, a lot of the decisions that they're making are business impacting nowadays, and they don't lift a finger unless they get approval from the IT team in some of these organizations. So to be able to bounce some of those ideas off your peers before you take that step internally, which there could be a lot of fear, I think is critical and important. So, to that point, as we kind of start to wrap up here, Larry, I'm curious to know, what has been some of the, from what you've seen, what are some of the lessons learned or best practices or trends that you've seen that have been shared with some of the members that were in the group in the past?
Right now, during this time of COVID, I'd say it's learning how to lead through difficult times is the biggest exchange of information. A lot of corporations are learning how to manage folks remotely, and this is new to them. So I think that's probably the biggest challenge is in learning how to reflect inwardly and say, I need to learn how to manage remotely is probably the biggest exchange of information we're seeing. And what technologies are you using? What lessons can you share with me? Because I need to get this going also because it's critical. And then also learning how to help folks out because in the beginning it may sound like, oh, this is great, I'm working from home. But there's definitely a population who likes it. There's a population who needs the interaction and they miss the water cooler conversations. And it's a stressful for them to remain home this long. So it's also how do you engage those folks, bring them at ease and keep them productive at the same time.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you saying that. I think that's awesome. You know, one last thing, Larry, as we let everyone go here, as they're watching, some folks in the audience, maybe they're on the fence of joining SIM or they want to get more information. Mm-hmm. What would you suggest to that person? How would they get more information to explore and see if they can be a part of the group? Where would they go?
Definitely, the website's a great resource, which is at simcfl.org. You can reach out to me directly at Larry.DiGioia at simcfl.org. That's DIGIOIA at simcfl.org. And if you could pop that up, it'd be great. And there's a lot of information on the website.
Oh, sorry.
Make it available for everybody. So it's Larry.
SimCFL.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Let me get this up here. simcfl.org, right?
Right. Correct.
And Larry.
Dot.
Yep. Got it. Larry. Dot.
DiGioia. DIGIOIA. At simcfl.org.
simcfl.org. Get that up right now for the audience to watch that because I think that's going to be important. Mm-hmm. So let's get that up there. There it is right there, simcfl.org, and there's Larry at simcfl.org. Did that on the fly. Look at that.
Yeah, I just want to give a big shout out to the other board members. This is not something I'm doing myself, thank God. I have tremendous help from everyone on the board, including yourself with the committee members, and looking forward to handing off the reins to Susan Howells. She's next in line to be president in 2022.
Awesome. Awesome stuff. Well, I appreciate it, Larry. Hopefully that helped some of the folks get a better understanding of what the group is all about. And you heard it here first. I'm going to post the information that Larry said right on the bottom in the comment section of this post here. And if you have any questions, just send us a message and maybe we'll look forward to seeing you guys as members of the group soon. Thanks a lot, Larry. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Take care. You too.